Hello, everybody. My name is Oscar T. Lewis, and this is my wife.
LaShonda Lewis.
And once again, welcome to another episode of Reaching for Your Marriage. And in this podcast, we're going to be talking about everything relationships.
Dating, marriage, and all the things in between, which takes us to today. We've got a special segment for you today, and we're excited about it. So stay tuned.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Reaching for Your Marriage. And I am excited and delighted because we have another special guest on this episode today. We got my man, Mr. Anthony. Say what's up, Anthony.
How's everybody doing? How are y'all doing?
Doing well.
We're doing well. We are doing well. So one of the things that we're going to be talking about during this podcast is, well, first of all, Anthony, so I'm going to go ahead and get started right now.
You just jumping in, huh?
Yeah, we're going to jump in right now.
Cool.
All right, so this podcast is called Reaching for Your Marriage, but we talk about all different types of stuff.
Yeah.
Not only about that. So Anthony, first of all, so are you married?
I am not. I'm not married.
Hey, ladies, you hear that?
Stop it.
But however, let me pause though. But are you in a relationship? What type of relationship are you in?
I am. If you being in the state of Texas, they call it the
Common law?
common law.
Okay.
We've been together for over 10 years. All right. So we've been in a relationship for like I said over 10 years. So we're still together, living together. I have a 7-year-old son with her. So yeah, that's where we're at right now.
So the question would be, you're on the podcast. Are you reaching for marriage?
So, well,
It's okay. Go ahead. Like I said, we put you on the spot, man. Talk to us.
No, so
What's up?
a lot has changed like in the last year with that. I think all the way up into this point, I didn't take it seriously. I was just in it just to be in it. I wanted to do other things, living the single life, but wanting what's in a relationship, being able to go out and but then coming home to, what home life is like.
Right.
And I also don't think it was just mature enough and to handle, those type of decisions, that type of commitment. Just a lot of like things I didn't know. My parents have been married for 39 years. So
Really?
yeah, there was
Okay.
that that I saw that I wanted.
Yeah.
But also there was that other part.
Well, see, so I'm gonna pause with that right there. So why do you think that you've been hesitant to sort of to move into that next part as far as marriage? Like, you said that your parents have been married for 39 years, and you saw some of the great things about
Yes.
marriage. But I'm assuming that you've seen some of the other stuff, just from your perspective. So what caused you? What's your hesitation about it? Not only from your end, maybe from her end. I mean, I don't know. You tell us.
Going into it, we were kind of both like, in marriage, we're just together. And like I said, wasn't really taking it seriously. And just living together. And it was just never a big issue. She was like, she was fine with it. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm fine with it too. But fast forward to a couple years ago, she actually did kind of give me that, hey, you need to make a decision. And I played around with it. Like I said, I did not take it seriously. I was just joking. And I think that really hurt her. Because I didn't take it seriously.
Okay.
Like I said, I wanted all the good things, but everybody has that angel and devil on their shoulder. And I think through a lot of those years, I was listening to the enemy, which made me I won't say mistakes because I feel like mistakes is something you're trying to do, the right thing, but you just mess up. I've made a lot of poor and bad decisions.
Okay.
Is what
That's
I'll
real.
say. So now I feel like all of that, now trying to come back from that when you say reaching, like it was in reach, I would feel like, but now I feel like all of that
Mhm.
that happened has made reaching a lot further. So we're trying to
Mm.
come back from that
Right.
now. Just a lot of reading, a
Mhm.
lot of soul searching, a lot
Right.
of like self-analyst,
Mhm.
analysis,
Mhm.
analyzing,
Right.
and that can be scary.
Right.
Trying to face who you really are and a lot of the things you deal with by yourself.
Now, I will tell you, that's actually how I heard about you because you guys are, ex coworkers.
Yes.
And one thing that was very interesting is he shared with me about the fact that you were very introspective.
Yeah.
And so you guys would have those in-depth conversations of self-reflection.
Mhm.
And so during this self-reflection, you're in a committed relationship. Would you say yes?
Yes.
So you're in a committed relationship. You guys share a child. You're living together
Yes.
in the state of Texas, quotation marks. You are
Yes.
common law married. And so you're in this state. Talk about how that shift or that fight between, like you said, the angel and the devil. Talk a little bit more about that shift because you're actually walking the life and you're self-improving.
Yes.
So what does that contradiction look like?
Walk. It's something I've read about. The dopamine hits that you get, right? That instant gratification, and I think that's what it was. There was a lot of wanting to please people, and that aspect of growing up skinny, not attractive, and then you start getting the attention. Then you start, training, getting bigger, and then you start getting attention from this lady and this lady and this lady, and that instant gratification of like, oh, she likes me. Oh, she likes me. Oh, she likes me. And those instant dopamine hits you're getting, you start falling into that. And just this leads to that, this leads to that. So that's where the little enemy on the shoulder is like, hey, you like that, right? Hey, you like that? Oh, look at this girl over here. Hey, try that. Not appreciating what you have at home because at that time you're like out of sight, out of mind. You're not thinking about that. But once everything is done and you've did that, you regret it. And you kind of push that down because you don't want to deal with the ugliness. So that's been the fight is uncovering that and trying to come back from that and rebuild that trust that was broken and making her feel like that's not the type of person you are. You're that person that she met. Not that person that was doing that.
Hello, everybody. Once again, thank you very much for joining us with this podcast. And there's something else I want to talk to you guys about. We have this merch right here talking about reaching for your marriage. This is going to inspire some conversation that's talking about marriage, and we really want to bring marriage to the forefront.
Because let me tell you, when you wear that shirt reaching for your marriage, you're making a declaration to others. And once again, it's going to be all about some good conversation and dialogue. We would love it if you would join us on our Facebook page, Reaching for Your Marriage, as well as on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. Now,
Back to the episode.
There you go.
And let me ask you this, Anthony. Let me ask you this. You talk about, like the angels on your shoulders, right?
Yes.
The good angel, the bad angel.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, everybody has, these type of angels, the good angel and the bad angel. Do you name yours? Like what's the name of your good angel? What's the name of your bad angel?
I've never thought about that. I've never thought about that.
I mean, like for mine, I'm just being transparent. My good angel, is olfactor. That's why I call my good angel. But then I got my bad angel, and my bad angel's name is Bone. So sometimes, when I'm tripping, it's like, man, Bone, you need to stop tripping, man. I ain't gonna listen to you today. I'm just sort of curious about that, man.
I don't. Yeah, that's something I've never thought about.
Okay.
And he should have a name because there was a lot of times where I was listening to him a lot.
Yeah.
Listening to him a lot, and like I said just now, you've been a inspiration to me as well as far as dealing with things and like you said, self reflecting and reading the word and being a better human being. So.
And and I really am glad that Mr. Anthony started talking about this. Anthony's really good about using the mental mirror, which is something that we talk about right here in this book, Reach for Your Marriage. We got a chapter that's talk about using your mental mirror. Like, in other words, really, truly looking at yourself. like just straight up, because nobody knows you like you, ain't the right, Queen?
Absolutely. And we do talk about that mental mirror, because in relationships, no matter what relationship it is, if there's a friendship, any type of connection, it takes work.
Yes.
And if you want to develop it, and like you said, especially if there's been something that is a trauma or a challenge in that relationship, there's a rebuilding that people don't talk about. So let's talk about this rebuild you're on. Sounds like it's been a 2-year process of rebuild. What does that look like for you right now?
Like I said, in the process works, and I had to come to grips with the fact that I can't rush that build. Right? I don't know the level of hurt and what it's going to take for her to actually get there. So what I'm learning is to be patient. Right?
Question: have you asked those questions? You said you don't know the level of hurt. Have you taken time to ask those questions?
No, because the way it was like, well, I haven't done this for this many years. I haven't done this for this many years. I should get some credit, for this good I've done, and the responsibility. Like, you can't, like, no, I know when I'm ready. I can't put a timestamp on that. So I guess that has somewhat, how that's playing out. But no, to answer your question, I have not asked.
Here's because I'm going to tell you from a female perspective. First of all, in relationships, you got to be careful of assumptions, because have you heard of what that actually means? Okay, break it down. Break out the word.
Yes.
So because of that, there's assumptions that are made, especially whether you're married or not. If you've been in a long-term relationship, there are assumptions that are made. So you may assume that this is how she feels about this. She may be assuming. So it is being very intentional, which is what we talk about in the book, about being intentional. Doing something like going to dinner and having a conversation and just get reacquainted. If we're going to rebuild, we got to start from somewhere. And this is what I feel like. I feel like I know you. I feel like I got this on you. But that doesn't give room for growth, does it? No. And I feel like what you're saying is you're not necessarily getting the credit for the growth that you've made.
Yes. And
you don't feel like you are.
I don't feel like I am. And, and I guess that bothers me in a little bit, because, like I said, I'm trying to, like, show her, like, hey, look, I'm growing. And, like I said, I feel maybe the hurt was too much. It's like, okay, her level of here, and I'm thinking it's here. So my growth has not surpassed the hurt. If that makes any sense.
No, it does make sense. But see, the thing you also have to realize too is that, particularly whenever sometimes people suffer, like when they get hurt, when they're dealing with some type of pain, it is a process. And my wife and I, just been just open and transparent. There's been a number of times that we have hurt each other in different ways, and it takes a moment sometimes. I know one of the things that me and her had talked about is trying not to hold somebody to be a prisoner of their past. Like, in other words, to recognize the fact that, hey, there has been improvements. Like I've told us, like, man, I've done this. Please see me for what I am now. But in reality, there's been some stuff that I've been doing for years. So just because I've been doing something real good for a couple of weeks, it doesn't erase the years of whatever type of pain I was causing her. So yeah, you're right. It is going to take some time. It's not always the easiest thing to do.
And to be, as we're being transparent, when we had a conversation, we've been married in February, it'll be 30 years. So you're talking about there are certain things I feel like I know him. You've been in your relationship for how long?
10 years.
Over 10 years.
Oh, over 10 years.
Yeah,
my bad.
I think let's see, Cal is 7. I want to say about 12, maybe 12.
12 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
So during that time frame, you feel like you know how this person thinks, how they feel. What was something that was very eye-opening is we did not have conversations because we already felt like we knew what the other person was going to say. When we decided, okay, this right here is not working. So what do we need to do? I need to say, listen, you want this credit. You want me to tell you, okay, well, now you're doing this different. You're doing this. Well, the thing that I had to deal with on the receiving end is to say, stop waiting for the other shoe to drop. So we had to have a real conversation and be like, you know what? Yes, you are doing this, but there's a part of me that's still holding my breath.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like, okay. So then he asked me, well, what is that going to take for you to trust, for you to see? And I'm like, oh, I see it. But the thing is, and honestly, I was kind of holding back a moment because I'm like, is he just doing this so I can say, attaboy, good job, and give him his pat on the back? Or has he truly made a mind shift, a heart shift? And when I can see and feel that and feel like the motives behind this shift is actually true, and he's not just doing it kind of like that dopamine thing that you were talking about for that quick shot, but I realized there actually has been a change and a metamorphosis, I feel like we could get somewhere. Because one of the things that started us together in the first place is I love his thought. He's very deep in thought. So being able to go, okay, wait, has there been a thought shift? Now, because you and him are close and have this, I could just tell there's some things that are very similar between the two. Her realizing that there's been a thought shift and a heart shift may be the shift that you need. Because right now, what it looks like is you're just like a puppy. I'm not calling you a dog.
No, I totally understand.
But you're like, look what I did.
Yeah.
Rub me,
Yeah.
rub me.
Yeah.
You're not like a dog.
Yes.
They're always constantly flipping
Yes.
over. Rub my belly, rub my belly. Okay, I went outside. I came back, rub my belly. And she's like, okay, so now what it makes it look like is you're making it about you. What do you think about that?
That was... No, that's
And just think, I have to deal with this all the time. This is why I can't get in arguments with her. She just come back with me like that. And I'm like, really? You gonna mic drop me like that? Whatever.
wow. No, it's that you hit it like right there on the head, because it's and I'm gonna touch on this later when it comes about back to bodybuilding and training. And growing up like that, it was all about me, how people perceived me, how I looked. I wanted to be the perfect person. So yes, just to answer your question, yeah, it's about me. Like, look, I'm better. I'm doing this, and still not taking her feelings and her the level of or the road back to us being in that place we were at the beginning, not taking that into consideration again. Like you said, just all about me. And I never looked at it that way until you said that. And that's where, and she's actually said this to me, sometimes you need to take a step back and look at the situation. And I think that's something I hear and I'm like, oh, okay. But I never sit and think about it until like now that you said it, it was like, wow, that's real eye-opening. So.
And let me add this too, that as far as the situation that you're in, and this is something that I've been through, and something that I'm still going through, because when you've been in long-term relationships, when you've been married for a while, that it's always growing, and there's always going to be something that you're working on. Always. I mean, it never stops. And when it comes to like healing pain, especially with something that's been going on for a long time, the only way to really, one of the most effective ways to really heal that is consistency and time. Consistency and time. Like, it's not going to be able to erase all the years or whatever that the pain has happened. But the only way that she's really going to really start to really see it, got to be consistent. You just got to keep doing it. It's going to take some time. That's why I told my wife, I understand that. So I understand that you feel the way I feel. I get it. I've done this. I'm not expecting for you to go, yay, good job or anything like that.
He was.
Yeah, I was. But, once we had that conversation, I just tell her, I say, hey, consistent in time. Say, I'm just going to keep doing this. So that way you can see that the change is real. But most of the time, people are not going to really see that the change is real until you just keep doing it over and over and over again. And then you have to allow time to eventually start to really heal those wounds.
Absolutely. And you can't hold someone responsible for unexpressed expectations. But when those expectations have been expressed and then there's nothing that goes along with it, that is where the continuation of the problem happens. It continues to happen because now the expectation has been set it has been expressed. So now it's like, okay, so you're just deciding that it doesn't matter because you're good. Because in all transparency, this is what a conversation that he and I had, which was, you're good. I'm good to you. I make sure that all of these things are done. So bam, 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 bam. I'm good to you. But there are things that I need from you that I've expressed that I'm not seeing. And because of that, that's where you're seeing this wall that you're like so frustrated by. When I see that you get that, that's going to help to bring that wall down.
Hello, everybody. Once again, thank you very much for joining our podcast. We want to quickly tell you one of the reasons that we started Reaching for Your Marriage is the fact that marriage is important. Coming together is very important. It's a life-changing event. It is something that'll be beneficial to you.
And we've got great conversation about dating, relationships, and all of the things in between, because relationships, that's where people are. People want relationships and we want to talk about it. So we have a Facebook page. We would love it if you would join it, Reaching for Your Marriage. We also have a YouTube page. We need you to do what?
We need you to click that button at the top. We need you to subscribe. We need you to like. The more people that get into this, the more that this is going to spread. And this is good news. This is good stuff. This is a blessing.
And it's not just for those that are married. It's for those that are in a relationship, those who are dating, and those who are just a little bit curious about what we're over here talking about.
Exactly. So once again, please subscribe, click that button, like it. And now it's time to go back
to the episode.
Absolutely. Because for a long time, in our marriage, I was good, man. No, really. From my end, because my wife was asking me, say, how do you feel about a marriage? It's like, man, I'm good. It's like, yeah, I'm happy. I come home, food, we're good. But on the inside, she wasn't good. It was the craziest thing. I didn't realize that she wasn't good. And I was confused. I was like, what do you mean you're not good? I'm good. But it's because I was making it about me. I didn't see it. And now, and of course, she'll admit this too, that she didn't really express it the best way to let me know. She did in some ways, but not effectively, because I didn't get it for a long time.
That's correct.
Yes.
And I realized that there are things that shut him down. Me raising my voice shuts him down. So whatever message I have to give him is not, it's just like talking to the wall in for real life. So I have to be careful. So that meant that I had to, and it's so hard, self-reflection, which I like, the whole mirroring thing, which we talk about in our book. That whole thing of, okay, if I want, what is more important? That's really the question that you both have to ask, is what's more important. Do we want to have this relationship? And if that is the goal, is for us to have a healthy relationship. We all know people that have tenure and no substance. We know uncles, aunts, grandparents, whoever in our family, they don't like each other. They're going to fight. They're going to argue.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much like in Living Color. And we're still together, right? And all they can say is they've got the years. That was something I didn't want. I really did not want just to have years and to be able to say, so people go, oh, wow. But what happens beyond the wow? What is actually, I wanted to actually have substance. So there were some things I realized that I had to be responsible for in this, because I had to say, wait, if I want the message to get across to him, because I have been saying these things, but sometimes it's the way I had already shut him down. If he's already had some timing, so I had to realize there's a lot of things I had to learn. Timing, I had to realize when was a good time. Sometimes it felt like it ain't never a good time. He just got off work. He just got finished working out. When is there? And I was like, okay, finding the time, which is something he had to do as well. He had to find the time, which goes back into the word of the day, intentionality.
It's all about being intentional. So let me ask you this, Anthony. Let me ask you this. So you said that your parents have been married for 39 years.
Yes.
So what elements of your parents' relationship that you really admire?
The biggest one is the way my dad has taken care of us and my mom. Like, if you say there's like a man's man, it's my dad. He we're he's been my he's my stepdad, I say, but I don't like to use that word
Right.
because we've been with him since we were 7.
Mhm.
And he took on that role.
Mhm.
Like he even like told my biological dad, "Hey, you got kids here. You need to step up." He approached him like that,
Mhm.
like in a man's way. You need to do this, and my biological father never did. That's another story. But just the way he took on 5 kids, 2 of his own, and me and my twin sister. And then my mom and him had a.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna pause you for that. You say you're a twin?
I have a twin sister. Yes.
So, is she?
No,
like you?
no.
She didn't body feel like you?
She got all the brains and the talent.
Oh, okay,
so-
okay, all right, go ahead.
She got all that.
Yeah. Mhm.
And then they had, Jermaine, my brother, together. So
Yeah.
he took us all on, worked 2 jobs to make sure that we were always taken care of. But that's the biggest thing, is that he took care of us, and he continues to do that.
Mhm.
And provided for my mother to where her kids were taken care of, and he treated us like his kids. The biggest aspect of it, is just the overall, just taking care of your family.
Right.
2 parents in the household. My mom, he had to work. She was dealt with us with homework, with cooking while he worked, but they knew each other's roles. And we never saw fights. We never saw arguments, up until they tell us what happened. We're like,
Right.
wait, y'all used to argue? And twice, like, yeah, we just never want to show y'all that. Right. So yeah, just that, and I'm learning more now, the work that had to go into them being together for 39 years.
Right.
But just being a family is what, just mom, dad, kids, education, right from wrong. My dad's a police officer, or is retired now. So just teaching us right from wrong, and just again that family setting, growing up in that.
So you said you were 7.
7.
Okay. If you can figure out where I'm going here, how old is your son?
7.
So that time frame is huge. That's monumental. That's where those memories and things are being made and being set. So this is a time to make a really big impression that's going to be very much memorable. So what would you say to your thinking about you at 7 and that shift happening? What would you like your son to have an understanding of at 7 and where you are right now?
I would want him to see what I saw. 2-parent household, 2 parents getting along, where he doesn't feel like, there's a struggle or there's issues, just a positive household. And there have been times where it hasn't been that, again, with all the issues, but that's really what I would want him to see, is what, like I said, I saw, just the 2-parent household. I never wanted the whole baby's daddy, baby's mama. I never liked that and wanted to be, have that. I didn't want my son saying, "Oh, my dad lives over here, my mom was here." So I just want him to see, his mom and dad together in a nice, peaceful household.
The beautiful thing is that that's what you desire. However, you can make the decision that they can see reconciliation. It's just as important for when they're that young to see conflict, but then to see the resolution. A lot of times at that age, they only see the good or they only see the conflict, but they never see the resolution. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is a great time for them to actually see that you are reaching not only for marriage, but striving and reaching for better and reaching for growth and sharing those things and talking to him, having those conversations with him. These kids are curious these days and they ask questions that we didn't ask before. But you get an opportunity to feed that 7-year-old that may have needed to hear some of those things. But you said something so monumental when you said he came in and he brought that family element. So that really shows how much power that you actually have in your relationship to bring that family element, which is the thing that it sounds like she's been saying that she wants and desires. And it sounds like you're reaching for it.
Yes. Yeah.
So funny.
He's good, man.
Okay.
Absolutely. So, once again, very excited. thank you, man, for coming out, and just sharing a little bit about some of your journey
Yes.
right now. And of course, we're going to have him on again for another. So don't worry, he's coming back. He's going to be on for another podcast. But I quickly want to say this. Continue to reach for your marriage. It's very important. This is one of the reasons that we're talking about this stuff today. And then also continue to have triumphs over through transitions. Okay, so this is a book that my wife wrote, and she's just talking about from a woman's perspective, but also, men, we can also get some elements from this too about the different transitions that you go through and just how to overcome that. So once again, Queen, what is this based off of? Reach, right? Correct?
Based off of reach. And so we want all of our listeners to remember that you've got to
Raise expectation and create hope.
Bye, guys.
For another podcast. But I quickly want to say this. Continue to reach for your marriage. It's very important. This is one of the reasons that we're talking about this stuff today. And then also continue to have triumphs over through transitions. Okay, so this is a book that my wife wrote, and she's just talking about from a woman's perspective, but also, men, we can also get some elements from this too about the different transitions that you go through and just how to overcome that. So once again, Queen, what is this based off of? Reach, right? Correct?
Based off of reach. And so we want all of our listeners to remember that you've got to
Raise expectation and create hope.
Bye, guys.